welcome to the Patriot Connection. I'm Elena Taylor.
And I'm McKenna Dye. Veterans Day is a day to honor our military veterans. Patriot Connection reporter Ryan Linder takes a look at the importance of this day.
After World War II, Congress changed the name of Armistice Day to Veterans Day. The current name honors all United States military veterans, not just the veterans of World War I. 2015 Wheeling Park graduate and U.S. military veteran Sergeant Andrea Gump is currently a military career counselor for the West Virginia Army National Guard and spends a lot of her time at Wheeling Park High School. She graduated in 3 years from the broadcast journalism program at Kent State and spent 11 months overseas in Iraq and Kuwait. Sergeant Gump says she believes that everyone should take pride in celebrating Veterans Day.
If you see a veteran, make sure you ask them their story, ask them where they served, when they served, and what their service means to them, because oftentimes they'll be willing to share a story with you about their service, which can make thanking them even more special.
Mrs. Robbins is not only a world language teacher at Wheeling Park, but is also the faculty advisor for Patriots Helping Patriots. The club is personal to her since both her grandfathers are veterans of World War II, and her father served in the Vietnam War. She says that the club was formed to encourage Wheeling Park students to support local veterans in our area.
We want to participate in something called Wreaths Across America, which is a program that was actually started with a surplus of wreaths that they ended up placing in veteran cemeteries. So this year, our goal is to sell 10 wreaths.
Miss Bowers is a military veteran and a residential education liaison at Wheeling Park. She signed up for the Army Reserve when she was 17 years old and served in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm.
It's really just a nice thing to say thank you for your service to the veterans, for them signing up for the military and putting actually sometimes their life was really on the line a lot for our country.
Ahead of Veterans Day this year, WPHP would like to extend a sincere thank you to all veterans for their service. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Ryan Linder.
All Ohio County schools will be closed Friday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day.
The park players are gearing up for opening night of this year's fall play. Patriot Connection reporter Sydney Cabasco previews this year's production.
This year's fall play is The Butler Did It by Tim Kelly and opens Friday the 11th at 7 p.m., Saturday the 12th at 7 p.m., and wraps up on Sunday the 13th at 3 p.m. The park players put in a great amount of work every year to make sure the fall play is one of high quality. However, for the play to reach such high caliber, it requires work from both the cast and crew.
It's a spoof on British mystery plays or British mystery television shows. I picked it because of the length, actually. Number one, it's kind of short, so it's about 90 minutes, but it's also really funny, and each of the characters have really big personalities, so I felt like the characters matched a lot of the kids that we have in the department.
I play Haversham, who is the maid, and we don't exactly know what it is yet, but we do know that she does have a criminal past.
I play a character called Laura Carlisle, and this play is kind of like this murder mystery. It's purposely cringy, and it's hilarious. It's really funny. The role of the stage manager is to basically just make sure everything runs smoothly behind the scenes and on the stage. It involves a good deal of work. You have to plan meetings beforehand. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to do with Tech Week. Make sure everyone's in their place and everything is in its place. So it's a lot of work, but it's really rewarding when you get to see the final production.
The role of publicity head is I oversee where the posters go. I make sure that everybody knows that the play is going on and set times. We do t-shirts as well.
This is a huge milestone for Mr. Cornforth as he is going into his 43rd year of being part of the Park Players production team. Both Mr. Cornforth and the amazing tech crew spend countless hours in the set shop and on stage to create the framework for the show. The crew also works hard on the behind the scenes to ensure the timing of the show is perfect.
Putting any play on stage at the PAC means it's got to be big because it's a big stage. So this play, The Butler Did It, is inside of an old Victorian house, and so we'll be building a 40-foot long living room with lots of angles and nuances to it. So we've got to have a good tech crew to do it because it takes a lot of people.
Tickets are now on sale. You may purchase them online at wphswv.booktix.com or at the door on the day of the show. All students in Ohio County schools can receive a free ticket by showing their student ID at the door or by seeing Miss Boyd in the main office or Miss Nelson in room B207. You cannot access free tickets online. Remember, the show runs Friday and Saturday, November 11th and 12th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, the 13th at 3 p.m. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Sydney Cabasco.
Make sure you make time to come out and see this remarkable performance.
Seniors, if you are planning on going to college, now is your time. Patriot Connection reporter Trent Thomas explains.
Most seniors find themselves waiting too long or being unprepared when it comes to getting ready for college. One of the first things to do if you're still undecided on what college you want to attend is to make a list of choices with your counselor. It's also important to ensure that you have the right number of credits needed to graduate. Ms. Trefero is one of our school counselors and says it's important to explore different types of colleges.
The first thing is checking and making sure you have all of your credits, sitting down with your counselor if you have any questions about that to make sure that you're ready for college. The next thing is simply starting to explore for college. We have a number of visits that occur here at school. We have a college fair we're going to and a West Liberty University field trip. So those opportunities, whether you're interested in those schools or not, are great experiences to learn about college and prepare and find out sort of what the college experience is like and where you want to apply. The next thing that seniors can be doing is starting to apply for school. I know I always have a lot of seniors that say they want to wait and take the ACT or SAT again before they apply. You do not need to have those test scores in order to apply. So you're going to want to fill out that application and get started so you can start to explore things like financial aid and scholarships.
If college is in your future, you are going to learn what FAFSA stands for real soon.
College is expensive, I'm not going to lie, but there's a lot of ways to pay for it, and one of those ways is through filling out your FAFSA, which is your free application for federal student aid. That is required for all colleges and receiving any type of financial aid, and it lets the college know how much your family can contribute to college, so then the college has to come up with a plan on how you're going to pay for school.
One of the biggest mistakes seniors can make when it comes to preparing for college is simply waiting too long to make decisions. Even if you are not sure about going to college, you can still do things like apply, take career assessments, or have conversations about what options are out there. Wheeling Park seniors are already gearing up for life after high school.
I want to be a pilot, so I'm looking into Purdue University, Ohio State University. I scheduled visits there for later in November.
Filling out my FAFSA.
Well, I've already filled out a couple applications, and I'm also joining the National Guard to pay for it.
Remember to apply early and send your test scores to colleges. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Trent Thomas.
Remember, seniors, our counselors are here to help. Just send them a message on Schoology if you have any questions.
Wheeling Park is excited to welcome close to a dozen new faculty and staff this year. Patriot Connection reporter Isabella Border introduces us to them.
Wheeling Park has welcomed 9 new faculty and staff this year.
This year, Mr. Beal has joined our Succeed department. Mr. Birch is our new band director and also teaches music. Mr. Bloomfield is the business agriculture teacher in the CTE department. Mrs. Brown has returned to the Succeed department at Wheeling Park. Ms. Bunch teaches science. Mr. Cooley is the option teacher in the CTE department. Ms. Davis is an aide in the Succeed department. Mr. Garrison joined the social studies department. And Mrs. Murphy is a community and schools coordinator. The faculty and staff are excited to be working at such a great school.
It's been great coming back. This is my alma mater. It's obviously different. There's been some updates and changes to the music wing, but it's been really exciting to be back.
Getting to know all the different students that I have, where they went to the different middle schools, and just making connections with them, learning more about them.
Wheeling Park Principal, Mrs. Daler, says she loves hiring new staff and is excited to have hired a lot of Wheeling Park alumni this year.
One of the things I really enjoy being in this position is hiring new staff. And this past year, we hired a lot of our alumni here at the high school. When people sit down in interviews and they talk about how much they love Wheeling Park High School and that it's a dream to come back and work here, Mr. Cooley, our Communities and Schools Coordinator, Ms. Murphy, even our new agriculture teacher, Mr. Bloomfield, they're all graduates of Wheeling Park High School and are thrilled to be here, and I think that's wonderful to see.
As well as brand new staff members, we have several faculty and staff changes at Wheeling Park this year. Mr. Cook now teaches health and physical education all day at the high school. Dr. Cummings is now a full-time world language teacher at Wheeling Park. Mr. Doherty is our new athletic and activities director, but remains our head football coach. Mr. Danny Doyle has moved from our Succeed department to the social studies department. Ms. Goodnight now teaches social studies full-time. Mr. Leggett is now our technology integration specialist. World language teacher Ms. McCormick teaches Spanish in the morning and works with our English language learners in the afternoon. And Mr. Zach Phillips moved from the Succeed department to the science department.
New additions to Wheeling Park are excited to be working in a diverse workplace. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Isabella Border.
All first, second, and third year teachers are required to participate in the teacher induction program, also known as TIP.
Before our break, it's time for Park TV Trivia with Patriot Connection reporter Caden Davis.
Each November 11th, the nation pauses to honor the men and women who have served in the armed forces. Today, we have just over 18 million veterans living in the United States. This week's question is, more living veterans served in this conflict than in any other conflict. Is it A, the Gulf War, B, the Korean War, or C, the Vietnam conflict? We'll have the answer when we come back.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
What does Main Street Bank mean to you?
Well, Main Street has extended hours every business day, and they're open most holidays. Their new checking and savings accounts are really good. The balance requirement is very low, and they have online bill pay and debit cards right away. Plus, they have no fees or low fees. Great service, higher interest. That's money in the bank. The right bank.
Open your checking and savings account at Main Street Bank. You deserve a bank this good.
Exciting things are happening in Ohio County schools, and it wouldn't have been possible without the support of our amazing community.
We're improving our facilities, updating our technology, and reimagining our classrooms. And it's all being done to provide the best education possible for our students. Thank you for supporting Ohio County schools in our efforts to make our school system the finest.
Ohio County schools,
together we achieve.
Did you know that car crashes are the leading cause of death among people 40 and under? Properly wearing your seatbelt could reduce your risk by 50%. Close to 43,000 drivers and passengers died in car crashes just last year. Over half of those who died were all either unrestrained or wearing their seatbelt the wrong way. Here's the right way to wear your seatbelt. Make sure the lap belt remains low across the hips and below your stomach. The shoulder belt should go over your collarbone and stay away from your neck and cross over your chest. Remember that wearing your seatbelt in West Virginia is the law. It only takes 3 seconds to buckle up and save a life. This message is brought to you by WPHB.
Before the break, we asked you, there are more veterans that served in this conflict than in any other conflict. Is it A, the Gulf War, B, the Korean War, or C, the Vietnam conflict? The answer is C, the Vietnam conflict. 7.6 million Vietnam-era vets served in the Vietnam conflict. Just over 5 million served during the Gulf War, almost 3 million in the Korean War, and just over 2 million in World War II.
This week on the Patriot Connection, we are spotlighting one of the nicest people you will ever meet. Patriot Connection reporter Nick Tesouris has the story.
Throughout his 4 years in high school at Wheeling Park, Isaiah Zalaski has not only made a big impact in the classroom, but right here on the football field.
Isaiah is a 2-year starter at cornerback on the Patriots defense and works diligently to defend the receivers. Mr. Keith Phillips has been Isaiah's defensive coordinator for the 3 seasons and says Isaiah has developed himself into the total corner.
I think the one aspect of his game that's improved tremendously is his ability to come up and tackle and play the run. And as he's gained knowledge and understanding of the secondary and how the secondary plays. His coverage skills are good. He can come up and play the run, so he's the total package for us.
When it comes to school, academics is key. Isaiah takes great pride in maintaining a stellar 4.3 grade point average. In fact, one of our partners in education, WTOV9, recently awarded him the Scholar Athlete of the Week award. This award is given to the student athletes who maintain at least a 4.0 grade point average in high school.
Well, my mom instilled in me that education takes you farther than your sports will in life, so that's why I try so hard in the classroom.
Mr. Orff is a science teacher at Wheeling Park, and he is one of Isaiah's favorite teachers.
Isaiah's a nice kid. I mentioned he was quiet, and so when he speaks, like, you listen. Usually if he's speaking up, it means something, so I think that says a lot about who Isaiah is.
After high school, Isaiah would love to continue to play sports. He's currently undecided on his major. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Nick Tesaurus.
As always, if you would like to see someone spotlighted, stop by room O253 and see Mrs. Dillon.
This week on the Patriot Connection, Ivy Nider is going to introduce us to the math department.
Wheeling Park High School is home to 14 math teachers. Mr. Kineski is the math department chair of the mathematics department.
We're a dedicated department, a lot of dedicated teachers that put in a lot of time and effort, care about the kids inside and outside the classroom, and really are truly dedicated to the success of our students. During activity period, we offer tutoring at Patriot Point. One or me or some of the other math teachers will be down there. So anytime you need help, feel free to make a pass and come down and see us during activity period, and we'll be happy to help you.
Other math teachers include Ms. Clatterbuck, Mrs. Cox, Mrs. Cruz, Mr. Duff, Mr. Fink, Mrs. Jeffers, Mr. Miller, Mrs. Moore, Mr. Reinhardt, Mrs. Romanek, Miss Shackelford, Mrs. Suter, and Mrs. Wheeler. Everyone at Wheeling Park High School is required to have 4 math credits in order to graduate. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Ivy Nider.
Next week on the Patriot Connection, we will introduce members of the Career Technical Education Department.
Did you know that 50% of high school students are stressed all the time? Patriot Connection reporter Alex Fabrizio takes a look at why managing our stress is so important.
Stress is defined as a state of mental or emotional strain or tension, resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. Whether it's homework, relationships, or extracurricular activities, stress is everywhere we go.
I'm picking out an outfit in the morning.
Driving, school, homework, extracurricular activities, and getting enough sleep.
Homework really stresses me out.
While 25% of all high school students say that homework is our biggest source of stress, almost 70% of high school students say we are stressed about getting into our first choice college. Miss Matthew is one of Wheeling Park school counselors and agrees that senior year is very stressful.
Trying to figure out what you want to do in the future is really stressful. And I do think it's a big problem in American education that we put so much stress on students to do so many things, to get these perfect grades, or you're not going to get into this certain college.
However, stress can also be good and bad.
Definitely there are bad stressors when we're feeling overwhelmed, when we don't deal with stress, when a lot of things are on our plate. But sometimes stress can be good because it can definitely help you stay motivated.
If not managed well, stress can cause health issues such as chronic headaches, heart problems, and even high blood pressure, which is why it's always important to make sure we take care of ourselves and our stress. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Alex Fabrizio.
Remember that our school counselors at Wheeling Park are always here to help and talk about anything you need.
Now let's take a look at what else is going on at Wheeling Park this week.
Since 1958, Hugo Bryan, Youth Leadership, also known as HOBie, has provided transformative leadership development training that has positively impacted the lives of over 500,000 high school students around the world. Registration is open. Use the link on Schoology to register or learn more about the program.
Ohio County schools will be closed for Thanksgiving break on Wednesday, November 23rd through Friday, November 25th. Students will return back to school on Monday, November 28th.
Anyone interested in joining the bowling team, please see Mr. Chockless in the science department to sign up.
If you're interested in buying a class ring, check out the link on Schoology.
Make plans now to attend the Park Players Fall Play. It opens on Friday, November 11th at 7 p.m. A second show will run on Saturday, November 12th, and there will be a matinee on Sunday, November 14th at 3 p.m.
All shows will be held in the JB Chambers Performing Arts Center. Check out Schoology for details on purchasing tickets.
Grow Ohio Valley is a local farming nonprofit aiming to support local farmers and the local food movement. We do this by growing our own food, selling and distributing local food at the public market, and educating the community about growing their own food and healthy living. Volunteers can do a wide variety of things at Grow Ohio Valley, such as garden maintenance, building projects, and community outreach. You can find more information at growov.org and on Schoology.
Need help in your classes? Wheeling Park offers tutoring every week during activity period in Patriot Point.
There's an after-school program for middle schoolers at the House of Carpentry on Wheeling Island. Volunteers are needed. You can find more information on Schoology.com.
If you're still interested in joining Wheeling Park's FBLA chapter, they'd love for you to join. Just see Mr. Trebanik in R 223 and Mr. Michaels in R 227.
Well, that's a wrap for this edition of the Patriot Connection. Run WLTV 14 3 times a day, 7 days a week, at 6:30 a.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. For all the Patriot Connection reporters, I'm Elena Taylor.
And I'm McKenna Dye. Have a great day.